Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. Good to have you with us today. The Cleveland-based nonprofit community arts organization, Sankofa Fine Art Plus, holds its annual Women Cooking for the Arts event. Later on this month, Donna Flynn and Jenna Doba will tell us more about it. Then the pastor of Providence Baptist Church, Reverend Rodney Maiden, and executive director of the Ministry of Reconciliation, Gail Reese, will share information about the National Church Adopt a School initiative. And later in the broadcast, still today, we will hear what's being done in Akron to prevent lead poisoning in young children. Good morning again. This is Kaleidoscope, and so we begin. Beginning right now with Donna Flint. She's board president of Sankofa Fine Art Plus, and Jenna Doba, who's marketing committee chair of Sankofa Fine Art Plus. Good to have you both with us.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good to have you with us. Talk about the mission of Sankofa Fine Art Plus. What does it do?
Leon, we are a community nonprofit art-based organization that promotes fine ethnic art in the Northeast Ohio area. Our programming over the last 11 years has served thousands of people in the community, including youth and young adults. We are the first organization to bring mural arts to Cleveland, and we have about 30 murals throughout the city of Cleveland.
Mm-hmm. Jenna, tell me about some of these art programs or these pieces of art that you bring. Give me a thumbnail description of some of the programs.
Well, we have a lot of very popular programs. Probably most popular is the annual Art Expo that's typically held at Tri-C every spring. And that is a forum where hundreds of fine ethnic artists come to show their wares. These are fine artists who are world-renowned and nationally renowned, who converge on Cleveland to display and sell their works. So those are, people who follow these artists come to Cleveland for the purpose.
All kinds of different kinds of artworks.
Different media, of course, different themes. But the key is these are fine ethnic artists. We try to differentiate ourselves from other craft-related events and focus on the fine art and giving an exposure and a venue to fine ethnic artists.
Well, that's good. We all need more art in our lives. I've always said that when we talk about schools and all of that.
Absolutely.
Don't cut the art out of the programs. We need children thinking about art. But we're here to talk a little bit about, you've got a big event coming now. What's this big event that you really want to talk about today?
Leon, on Friday, October 29th, women of influence in the Northeast Ohio community will be exchanging their business suits for aprons and cooking for a worthy cause. It's our 5th annual Women Cooking for the Arts. It will be held at the Cleveland Clinic Lyndhurst campus on Richmond Road, and we will have about 30 prominent women chefs come out and cook for a worthy cause, which benefits our youth programming for the year.
You mentioned the word cook, and already I am salivating. What are they going to be cooking?
Whatever you can possibly imagine. We have a variety of categories: soups and salads, appetizers, entrees, desserts, and this year we have a healthy cooking category where women who have adapted certain recipes that they've used to be healthier will be demonstrating that in conjunction with the Cleveland Clinic, with the American Heart Association, the American Diabetes Association, and Kaiser Permanente.
You have whetted our appetite. We're going to get more details on exactly when and where and all of that. But we want to go to Jenna to tell me, this is a fundraiser for you, right?
Yes, it is.
Now, what happens with the money that you use for this? How does that benefit your organization?
Well, the funds raised for Women Cooking for the Arts, as Donna said, largely support our youth arts programming. We've got a huge youth mural arts program that's underway right now. So as we're preparing for this, about 15 or so youth are working with Cleveland artist Jerome White on this year's mural arts project.
If I were a betting man, and sometimes I am, I would bet that there's going to be artwork at this big event as well.
Absolutely.
On Friday, October the 29th. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about now how we can find this and if tickets are available and all of that kind of thing.
Tickets are available through the Sankofa website at www.sankofafineartplus.org or by calling our office 216-541 2787.
Yeah.
The tickets are $45, and we're looking forward to having a huge crowd there.
This is Women Cooking for the Arts, it's called.
Cooking for the Arts.
Cooking. No G on
no
that
G on that cooking.
Because when it's cooking, it's even better than cooking.
And they will be cooking.
And the men will be judging.
Yeah, they're cooking on the network, but on the Food Network, but we're cooking here.
Cooking.
Okay. This is going to be Friday, October the 29th. Starts at 6 o'clock, goes until 9 o'clock, correct?
That's correct.
And this is going to be at the Cleveland Clinic Lyndhurst campus. That's at 1950 Richmond Road. And I had to think about that location because that's the former TRW location right there. And you see the little gatehouse right there, and just a lovely, lovely venue.
Right behind Legacy Village.
Yeah. This excites you, doesn't it, Jenna, this kind of thing?
It's become a very popular event over the last 5 years. When we first conceived it, we didn't know how well it was going to go over, but it's grown every year, and we've got people coming out of the woodwork who actually want to cook and show their stuff.
Donna said about 3 minutes ago that the women would be exchanging their businesses for aprons. What brings them out to be involved in something like this? What do you think it is that brings the women out to do this?
Well, when you think about it, they're leaders in their communities, in their civic organizations, and in their corporations. So it's kind of a way of giving back. It's a service, another service that they can offer and provide to the community.
Donna Flint, you're the board president of Sankofa Fine Art Plus. What's your vision for the organization as you look into the future?
As we look into the future, Leon, we want to grow, be able to provide continuous programming to the Northeast Ohio community to promote not only the national artists, but our local artists who are just fabulous here. Be able to provide opportunities for them to exhibit their work and get knowledge and access to the wider community.
And if people call, they can get tickets for this event?
They absolutely can.
And what's the ticket cost again?
$45.
And if they call your phone number, they can get information
They can
on
get
this?
information from it right now.
Or if you call 541-2787, as you see at the bottom of the screen, or you can go to sankofafineartplus.org. Get more information. You see that website at the bottom of the screen as well.
Absolutely.
Women cooking.
We're cooking.
Women cooking for the arts. It's
Come
all
out
a good
and join
thing.
us.
Jenna, you'll be there.
Oh, yes.
And Donna, you'll be there.
I will be there.
Then it's going to be a good thing. You know that. Thank you so much, Jenna Doba, for being with us, and Donna Flint, both from the Sankofa Fine Art Plus organization. Good to have you with us. Friday, October the 29th, starts at 6 o'clock, 1950 Richmond Road in Lyndhurst. I'll take a break. This is Kaleidoscope. We return after these words, especially for you. Welcome back to more of Kaleidoscope today. The National Church Adopt a School Initiative, or NCAASI, began in Texas in 1985. The program, started by Dr. Tony Evans, has since expanded nationally. Here in Cleveland, the pastor of Providence Baptist Church, the Reverend Rodney Maiden, is co-director of the Northeast Ohio Division, and Gail Reese is executive director of Reconciliation Ministry. They're here to talk about the National Church Adopt a School program and how it's helping young people. Good to have you with us, Pastor.
It's good to be here.
You too, Gail Reese.
Thank you. Good to be here as well.
Things are well at Providence Baptist Church, I would be willing to bet.
All things are well, because last week we just celebrated 30 years of pastoring there, and we had Dr. Evans in as our guest speaker.
Yeah,
yes.
Tony Evans.
Tony Evans.
Hear him on the radio all the time.
All right.
He's quite a speaker, quite a speaker. Tell me a little bit about this National Church Adopt a School initiative. What is this?
Tony Evans, some years ago, felt that there was something missing in our community. There was a family and the school, but what was missing was the church, the trilogy of the church, family, and school to keep the cohesiveness and impact children's lives. And so Tony, with the support of President Bush at that time, who endorsed it, started this National Adopt a School initiative in the Dallas, Texas area. He adopted over 60-some local, schools there, public school system, and they went in there and made a tremendous difference in the lives of those children.
And you're trying to do the same thing here.
We're trying to do the same thing here in Cleveland.
Let's bring Gail into the conversation. Gail Reese, you're executive director of the Ministry of Reconciliation. What's your role in all of this now?
My role is to be just a kind of forerunner to give vision to the Adopt a School initiative, recruit the churches, and connect them actually with the schools in the different communities in the 19 wards of Cleveland, and then even in the surrounding suburban communities. When they come in, they are encouraged to become tutors, mentors. They help with everything from being chaperones, clerical, and come in and serve in our schools to help make a difference with our students.
This is helping the kids learn the things that they should be learning inside the school.
Absolutely.
And helping the parents help the kids as well, I would imagine. All of those kinds of... So this is really taking the church outside the walls of the church into the community.
There it is.
Now, that's your mission. I feel a sermon coming on, Pastor. But that's what it's all about. Now, what schools is your church looking at, Providence Baptist Church?
We have adopted Charles Dickens, which is not far from our one location on Kinsman, 128th and Kinsman, but Charles Dickens is over there on 131st near Benham, and the principal there, Miss Braxton, Lisa Braxton, who accepted us into that school. So what we do, we go in there and help the teachers in reading to the children, have career day. We went in there and painted a school room and helped supplies. We gave back to school supplies for the children. And then one of our associate ministers, my assistant, he went in and started a gentlemen's club in teaching young men how to be gentlemen. And we take them to five-star restaurants and how to sit down and eat and do fine dining, how to take them from stop dressing for a rest but dress for success.
So all of that. So you're playing. This is a little mentoring going on.
Exactly. Male
mentoring, father kind of thing.
Exactly.
Father symbols. You mean fatherhood symbols? Those kinds of things. So these boys can learn what they need to learn.
Yeah.
And the girls can learn the same kind of things as well. How many churches, or have other churches joined you with this National Church Adopt a School initiative?
Actually, they have. In the Cleveland area, just alone, we now have 40 churches that have adopted 23 Cleveland schools. And so we're excited about that.
Now, can pastors and other church leadership people call you and get in on this as well?
Yes, they can.
You're still open for, you need more congregations?
We always need more. The whole concept is that Dr. Evans started. He wanted that if a suburban church partnered with an urban church, an inner city church, to adopt an urban school, and then go into those schools and aid and help in any way we can, we believe that child will come out success, because every child is tied to a family, and we're trying to reach those families, those parents, particularly in our community where there's single family, there may be moms there. And so we got to, as men, to see positive males in these days and times of just walking the halls, just being there for them.
We've got a phone number on the screen that you can get more information by calling 621-5683, as you see at the bottom of the screen in the 216 area code. You can go to ncaasi.org, ncaasi.org. You see that as well. That's a National Church Adopt a School initiative. Leave us with a thought on why you think this is vital.
I think it is vital because as you look around and see the hurt in the eyes of our students, some of them that want to excel academically, but they've had a lot of challenges in their homes with things that have happened that they had nothing to do with, but they want to excel. They want to graduate from school. They want to go on to college. They want to become those that can be our next doctors and lawyers in our communities, but they need help. They need support, and they need us.
I've got about 20 seconds, Pastor. What are your thoughts on all of this as we conclude?
My thoughts on all of this is because if we reach the child, we can reach the parents in the home, and we can bring that trilogy, the family, the church, and the school working together to make an impact, and so our children have hope.
Would it be okay if I said amen to that?
Amen.
Amen to that. Okay, thank you so much. The pastor is Rodney Maiden, the pastor of Providence Baptist Church, which is located at Kinsman and East 128th Street, and also in Euclid.
At the Manor Century Complex on Rockwell Road.
Know exactly where that is. And Gail Reese, Executive Director of the Ministry of Reconciliation. Thank you so much for being on the broadcast.
Thank you.
We wish you both well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We have to pull together to save the children.
That's right.
I'll take a break. I'll be right back. You're in touch with Kaleidoscope, and good to have you with us today. Lead poisoning usually affects young children living in older homes. The Akron Health Department is helping parents to understand the dangers of lead poisoning and how to keep young children safe. Program Supervisor Wallace Chambers Jr. is here, and Public Health Nurse and Case Manager Frank Osco will explain what's being done in the Akron area. And they're with an organization called CLPPP, Childhood Lead Poisoning Prevention Program. Good to have you both.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Yeah, lead poisoning. Now, bring us up to speed. This is still an issue in the 21st century, isn't it? How so, Wallace?
Well, a lot of people think just because lead paint was banned in 1978 that it is still no longer a problem. But in the United States, you still have 60 to 75% of the housing stock built before 1978 that contains lead paint. Houses built before 1940, that number jumps to 90%, and houses built after 1960, it jumps to 80%. So there's still a significant amount of houses that have lead paint. And as a result, you have lead paint, you also have the potential for children to get lead poison. So it's still something that needs to be addressed, because lead poison is a problem that can be prevented. It's something that you can do to prevent children from getting lead poisoning, which may affect their health and learning and behavioral disabilities.
Frank Osco, you're a public health nurse and case manager with the Childhood Lead Poisoning Prevention Program. How do children get this lead into their bodies? What's the mechanism that they use?
Well, generally it's hand to mouth, as any parent or grandparent can tell you. Children are often known to stick a lot of things in their mouths other than food. So that's generally how they get it. They can also ingest it just by breathing in lead dust. And if you live in an older home, there can be a lot of lead dust there that isn't really visible to the naked eye, but children pick it up and they breathe it in, and that's what elevates their lead level. And it takes a very, very small amount to really increase their lead levels. And we in the program like to get the point out that there's no safe level of lead in children.
I tend to think of the little paint chips that may flake off on the windowsill, which is right at the level of a toddler.
Absolutely.
And if they ingest that, there's the lead right there through that paint.
But also you got to remember that the main concern is also the lead dust, which is invisible. Children may crawl on the floor, put their hands on toys or window ledges, and from playing, and there's lead dust in that area, the hand-to-mouth activity would also cause them to get the lead poisoning.
What are you doing to fix the problem down in Akron?
Well, one thing we advocate, first thing we advocate is people to get their child screened. We also advise property owners to get a risk assessment or inspection to determine if there's lead paint or lead paint hazards. And as a result, Akron has a grant. We have a $3 million grant from HUD in which we can help low-income families remediate the lead hazards in their home.
So what do people do? They call you, and you can get more information on the mechanism that you can do to get. Let's put a phone number on the screen. This is really vital. 330-375-2077. That's the phone number. 330-375-2077. That's the one people can call to get more information, or you can go to the website. I'll try and get that on the screen in just a minute. Why do you see this as vital, Frank? Are we seeing I don't want to say epidemic, but are we seeing growing numbers of lead poisoning among children?
Well, actually, our numbers are decreasing, and we're glad to have those numbers decrease, and we'll have to take some credit for a job well done to get the message out there. But still, it's an insidious problem, because oftentimes it's a hard sell to parents. Children don't often exhibit signs and symptoms of lead poisoning until maybe they get to be 3 or 4 years old, and they start lagging behind their peers in cognitive development and speech development. And unfortunately, when it reaches that point, it might be too late to reverse that effect of lead. So we have to get the message out, and we have to get children tested. That's the most important part of it. And that's the most important part of my job, to get the word out and increase our testing numbers. Otherwise, without that lead test, there's no way to know if your child is lead poisoned.
And we concentrate on the children because it is the children who crawl and put their mouths on the windowsills and all those kinds of things. But anybody can get lead poisoning if you're doing those kinds of things. My house is very, very old, built well before 1978. My house was built in 1925. So there's lead in that paint.
Sure.
But if I've painted over it in recent years over the entire house, have I covered that lead?
Well, lead is only a hazard when it's in deteriorated condition. If it's intact, then it's considered safe. But the only thing about doing something like what we call paint stabilization, you have to monitor and maintain that surface to make sure it doesn't peel or deteriorate, because that problem will then repeat itself. So you gotta monitor it and make sure it doesn't get into a deteriorated condition, so it won't affect your child.
You got to keep the painter or the repairman in there so things stay stable.
Right.
Well, that's what we do. What do you suggest for people who may be buying a home built before all of this changed in 1978? What should they consider?
Absolutely get the home inspected before they sign the final papers. And I know that real estate agents now will give you a lead disclosure from the previous owner, but oftentimes owners might say, well, I don't know of any problems, but get that home inspected.
We're talking with Wallace Chambers, Jr., who's with the Childhood Lead Poisoning Prevention Program in Akron, and with Frank Osco, who's with the same organization. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us. Phone numbers on the screen, as you can see, 330-375-2077. More information on what we're talking, on how Akron is taking really the bull by the horns and trying to fix this problem.
That's right.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being on the broadcast.
Appreciate it.
This is Kaleidoscope. I'll take a break. We'll have Marsha Maccabee with a word of inspiration from the Urban League after this. Here now is Marsha Maccabee of the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, its president and CEO. What's on your mind today, Marsha?
Well, I tell you, Leon, I have been, as we all have been, watching the political commercials. This is the time, this is the season when they're really heating up. And one of the things that I just I've encouraged my family, and I'd like to encourage the listeners today to do, is to really check out the facts. We are certainly in a time when free speech is available and people can say whatever they want to say
about the opposing
candidate, right? But I would encourage people to go to Cleveland.com's voter guide and check out the facts, because that's a source where it really explores the different statements that are made about candidates and really gives you some background as to how true those particular statements may be.
Have you seen the ads really seem to be really biting this year? I mean, really biting, the political ads.
They do. And I think part of that has to do because there was a shift in party this year with our presidential election. After 8 years of one party, we now switched back to Democratic Party. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that there's a lot of concern about reshifting that move. So, not taking any sides. We're nonpartisan, but I think that's certainly an issue.
What's that tell you about America? We've got 30 seconds remaining. What's that tell you about America when we see ads like this?
It tells me that we really need to take the focus on what's important about the issues, and as the public, we need to take a stand on how much of this we will really support.
Okay. So we should go to really get the facts on all the candidates.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you so much. Marsha Maccabee's talking words of wisdom. We'll both say so long.
Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.